for joining me today. I want to show you how easy it is to make your own icing eyes out of our royal icing mix. First, I want to show you how to mix up the royal icing mix. So what's in this bowl is a royal icing mix that really you just have to add water to. And what I like about our royal icing mix is that you can mix up just a little bit. You don't have to do an entire batch. So here I've got measured out 3/4 of a cup. I'm just going to put this in a bowl. You can do as little as a couple of tablespoons. That's fine. So what I like to do is I kind of start with just a half a teaspoon and I'll work up from there. Because you can do as thick or as thin as you want to. This would obviously not be thin enough. It's just powdered, but you're just going to keep adding a half a teaspoon at a time until you like it. I'll go ahead and add some yellow color in here so you can see our texture a little bit better. Okay? So that's going to be mixed into the water. And then you're just going to keep mixing and adding a half a teaspoon of water at a time until you have the proper consistency. So what's great about this is that you can use it for royal icing or you can use it for color flow. So they're basically the same thing except that color flow is a little bit thinner. It's kind of the consistency of honey. So I'm going to show you first how thick I like the royal icing. Some people like it a little thicker than others, just depending on what you're using for. What you're going to do here is you're going to start paddling it, which basically means you're just going to move your spoon back and forth to make sure there's no lumps in there. It's a little thicker still than I would like, so I'm going to add another half a teaspoon, and we're almost there. And you're just going to continue to mix that. And I think once we get this fully incorporated, this is going to be a proper thickness for the royal icing. So here you see that there's lumps in there. Definitely don't stop there, okay? You want to paddle it, okay? And that's just smearing it with a flat side to get all of those lumps out. So this is going to be a soft royal icing right here. So what's great is maybe I went too far with adding water. You can always go back and add like another teaspoon or two of the royal icing mix and you're not losing the drying capacity of the meringue powder that's in there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take this down to a color flow mixture. I've pretty much paddled this as much as I feel like it's nice and smooth, so there's not lumps in there. And I'm going to go ahead and add one more half teaspoon of water, and that's going to take it down to the color flow consistency that I want. And how you know that you've got that right is it's kind of like honey. When I pull the icing up, it's going to hold its shape. See that ripple on there for just a couple of seconds, and then it's going to disappear. So that's the consistency that you're looking for in color flow icing. So now that I've got my royal icing mix made up, I actually went to a color flow consistency on these. Everything that's in a bottle is color flow consistency. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to make eyes. Now to get consistent sizing, you might want to go ahead and print off like ovals or rounds in the size and shape that you want, like a whole sheet full. That way you know that every single eye is going to be exactly the same size. So let me just show you over here how to do these. I basically don't want to do more than, say, 10 at a time. I'll do a small one here to start with. Maybe I'll do a couple that are small. And then before they dry, like I said, you don't want to do more than like 5 or 10 at a time. You want to go ahead and get that black eyeball in there, okay? Just so it can fall down into the eye. You can make these as big or as small as you want to. But again, don't do more than 5 or 10 at a time, because if this white dries before you get that black in there, then it's going to be sticking up too much. So let me just show you how to do a bigger one. So I'm never taking my tip out of here, and it keeps that smooth. If I were going to go over here and try to do like, you know, I'm trying to shape it, then it's going to end up looking kind of rough, and that's not what you want. This is kind of smooth. I left the tip in there, and then you can just do a nice eyeball. And that black, because it's the same consistency as the white, it's going to fall right into that and make a nice smooth eyeball. So if you'll look over here, I did some purple ones, and this is an example of what not to do. See how big these are and how closely they're spaced together? They kind of bleed into each other, and unless that's the look you're going for, you really don't want to do that. I like to have separate eyes so that you can attach them separately. You can do this in pink as well. Easter's coming up, and sometimes you want to put pink eyes on a bunny. That would be a great look. The purple and yellow and green look great at Halloween. But once these are dry, you can just pick them up with a spatula. It shouldn't take more than like 24 hours for these little bits to dry. And you can do 100 of them, a couple hundred of them, and just kind of have them on hand for whatever you want to do. So you can see how easy the eyes are to make. They go pretty quickly, and once they're dry, you can just keep them in an airtight container in your kitchen so that they're ready for whatever project that you want to make. You can make them as small or as big as you want to. You can make them have like all googly eyes where the pupils are kind of off center. Those are a lot of fun. But I think having these on hand is a really economical way to go. It also personalizes what you're doing. Having that puffed eye, that kind of 3D look on a character, if it's a duck cookie or an Easter bunny cake, those things really add a little bit more of a cartoonish, charismatic look to the project that you're working on. So give it a try. I hope you'll have fun with it. Thanks for watching.